All right, Coaches Out for Change. It's Monday night. We are here for team time. Glad to see you guys. And know lots of us will be coming on in the next few minutes. So as you know, my name is Dee Corchin, or if you don't know that, I'm glad to meet you. This is your team. This is your community of coaches. And we come here together on Monday nights to learn together, to grow together, and to be together. Because we know that every one of us on this call wants to be our best personally and wants to be our best for our clients. So our team time planning committee, we work hard to come up with topics to meet your needs, to help us all be better people. Sometimes they are soft skills training, sometimes they are about the hard skills of coaching, and sometimes just in between. And in fact, we've got a survey, and Coaches Opt for Change. Thank you guys who have filled it out so far, and like us put comments, taken all into consideration as we're planning out the rest of this year and what the future will look like. So I'll post the link to that in the comments later on. But just a couple of announcements, because we got a lot going on this week, a lot. Just a reminder that through the end of August is the Coach Accelerator bonus. So this is for your new coaches that sign up in August, the opportunity to be able to earn the increased bonuses for signing up 3 to 4 new clients or 5 new clients. And for your coach, it is applicable for the month of August, the month of September, and the month of October. So a really, really huge gift from Optavia. So if you got people on the fence, getting them and helping them see the benefits of doing this sooner rather than later is good for them. And then all the people that they'll be able to help. And then it's August 22nd. So we've got about 9 days left in the month. I know a lot of you guys are looking at your numbers. I've had lots of conversations, how many people you're helping. Some people have moved orders. There's just a lot happening. But just always keep in mind, because this perspective helps me, that we still have more than 25% of the month left. Right. So it's not over. Right. So there's a lot of days left in the month and a lot of people that need what Optavia has to offer. So keep doing what you do so well and just showing up, sharing your story, you're staying with your client support, all the things. And I know you'll finish strong. We're on week 3 this week of our Stepping Into Coaching for new coaches. I know a lot of us have been participating as well to learn from it. And this one is going to be a great one. We've got 2 more left. So we've got this week and next week. This week is all about social media. So how to show up, how to share your own story, but also how to brand yourself, and honestly, how to authentically connect and increase your conversations with other people. So really a winning conversation for all of us. And Lauren Yeomans is going to lead that. And that probably is one of her gifts, is in that arena. We've also got our Tuesday night community calls, 8 p.m. They're blowing up. This week is navigating through hard seasons of life. I think this is going to apply to us because we're all clients on the program, but be able to take that and translate it and help your clients. So whatever it takes to get your clients on these calls. We know that integrated clients are successful clients. So I'm just really, really impressed by how many are showing up, which means you're doing your job, stressing the importance of it in order to help them win. And then there is a Facebook Live in Coaches Opt for Change about Awaken 2022, which is around the corner. We are closing in on registration on that. We don't want any coach left behind. So take a listen to that. You should have gotten a tag on that post, and we'll and talk to your coach if you're unsure or not sure what your next step is. But tonight's subject is actually something that one of our coaches suggested to help their new coach is how do we move somebody from curiosity, maybe somebody who's watching you on social media, somebody who's noticed your weight loss, how do you move it from that to actually moving it to having a health assessment with them? It's something that could really give them the better view of what Optavia is and meet their needs. So no better to lead this conversation is Lori Cole. And Lori, I'll just let you share from here how we're gonna let it roll tonight.
Thank you so much, Dee. Appreciate it. So we were thinking, we were remembering back how we went from curiosity to the health assessment. And sometimes that feels like a huge leap. because we have to be brave. So one of the things that we were thinking about is just coming up with some different ideas. You have to kind of find your voice, but I've got a panel of people tonight, and I love panels because everybody may not have, there's something for you here. And maybe the way someone says something catches you there, but then another person, and we just learn. So I'm really excited about this. I remember when I was a new coach and people would say, well, what program? I would try to do a Facebook post and what program are you doing? And I was like, do I just say I'm doing Optavia? But we don't want to do that because then they go to Optavia and then they get a random coach, right? So we have to really figure out how to do that well and how to navigate that. But we also don't want to make it seem like we've got a big secret to keep. So, so there's a fine balance there. So I think that you're going to be super tickled tonight. We've got Gina Manley, Julie Applewalker, Whitney Miller, and Sarah Bond, and they're going to share some things with you. So on some of these questions, I'm going to specifically only ask for a couple of answers, and on some I'll ask for all of them just to make sure that we get the most bang for our buck tonight. So that's how our panel is going to go. So without further ado, let's get started. So question number one, and this is going to be for Gina and Sarah. When you see someone out in public, you're a ball game, Target, and they're curious, oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in a minute. What in the world are you doing? My question is, how do you move that curiosity to a health assessment? So Gina, if you'll come off mute and go first for us.
There we go. So I always say, whenever someone compliments me, I always say, oh, thank you so much. I feel better than I look. And the first step to move me from where I was to where I am now and where I wanted to be was to have a conversation with a coach. And are you asking, sometimes I'll say, are you asking for you? Do you have someone in mind that's on your heart? You want to talk later this afternoon on the phone, maybe set up a Zoom, give them some times and sort of move it away from there. If it's, oh, no, I was just curious, I'll often say, oh, well, that's great. Here, we connected on social media, and I open up my phone and I will, let's connect on Facebook and Instagram, because then they start seeing it and they start kind of getting a feel for, hey, this is the real thing.
Oh, that's so good, Gina. I love that. So connecting, asking more questions, right? We all could do a better job with that. Like, are you asking for you or are you just giving me a compliment? Thank you so much, Gina. That's great. Hey, Sarah, if you'll come off mute. So the question, when you see somebody in person who's curious, how do you move that to a health assessment?
Yeah. So when somebody is curious, I usually will just like tell them like I'm not shy about how excited that I am about how good I feel now. So I'm just like telling them I feel so much younger and I just feel so much better. And, thank you for noticing. It's been so worth the effort, and I just, live a lot more intentionally now. And then I just ask them, how are they doing? And usually I just like to let them talk about what they are kind of wanting and what's going on with them. I'm from a small town, so a lot of people that I run into know that I'm coaching. So I kind of crafted my answer around the fact that a lot of people already know that I'm a coach. But I will let them, kind of talk about what they want. But then I really tell them like, I really want to be able to focus on you. And I would love to like really learn more about what you're wanting and what your goals are, and really be able to dive into the program and let you know the nitty gritty details of everything. So like, what time would work for you that we could connect? Is there like, morning, days, evenings? What's good for you? I would love to talk with you on the phone where I can just solely concentrate on you for a few minutes.
Oh, that's fabulous. I love that. And so we've heard both times, asking more questions. So good. It's a great reminder. All right. Question number 2, and this is going to be one for the entire panel. One of the things that I thought was really hard when I became a coach is how to create curiosity. So what I've asked them to prepare for you is just one idea for a Facebook post or a social media post. It can be Instagram or Facebook or whatever that does create curiosity. So, Whitney, are you out there? Let's start with you this time.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad I get to go first because everybody's going to say their own before and after, right? Like that's your biggest. I know we were all thinking it, but I thought of a second one because I know that's like cheating. Another one that has been really helpful for me, I found there's a lot of interest in saying, hey, did you guys know I have a newsletter? Are you interested in some health tips that are intuitive and they will help you in your daily practices? I've got a recipe. Would you be interested in joining my newsletter? And that seems to generate a lot of interest. Like, yes, you put out a new recipe every week. Yes, I want that. And then you've got them on your newsletter and they're seeing more.
Oh, that's so good. Thanks, Whitney. All right. And next, Julie, if you'll come off mute there and tell us your idea for a social media.
Yeah. Hey guys. I think in addition to the personal sharing of your life and living openly and sharing what's happening in your world, and the other one that's really powerful is sharing a client celebration, whether that's a way day post or if you tag like a recent client that maybe if you're a brand new coach, one of your first clients, tag them and share their story and their success, do a before and after. That's always a great way to spark a lot of interest and people are like, what? And so that's a great first idea.
Yeah, awesome. And there is also a great way day conversation and training. If you guys are interested, we can pop that in the comments afterwards. Gina, will you tell us about your social media?
Sure. So along the same lines of what Julie and Whitney have said, I mean, my very first post, I actually stood inside a pair of jeans that used to be too tight and overcame that fear of being vulnerable and what are people going to think, because people feel alone, and when you do post something that's personal about yourself, they realize, oh, I'm not alone. So those are great. And the other thing I post when I cook one of our recipes, I don't post the recipe or the graphic that's already created. I post what it really looks like. And that often generates tons of buzz. And again, you can get people on your newsletter. I've brought people to health assessments doing that. So those kinds of things really can get you moving.
Get some curiosity going. And Sarah, tell us about your social media. What's one of your favorite posts?
Yeah. So I got a lot of buzz when I posted a fitting room post. That was pretty powerful. I mean, I just talked about how before, you want to always paint that picture of a before and now and how things have changed. So I just, kind of painted that picture of, leaving the fitting room before feeling so defeated and sweaty and crying and just couldn't find anything to wear. And then kind of compared that with a picture of, in my jeans and, feeling so much better and leaving the fitting room smiling and it not being such a terrible experience as it was before. And really I always try to stress the fact that it's not about the number. It's not about the fact that I was in a certain size, but that size just represents positive changes made and maintained. So just meaning that I've learned to show myself love and respect in the form of empowered, thoughtful choices over my health. And that ends up being reflected in those day-to-day things that I think that really resonate with a lot of people.
Oh my goodness, Sarah, that was amazing. Empowered, thoughtful choices. So good. Here's what I heard in those four answers. It's not about us, that we are living in this broken world who need a voice of hope. Non-scale victories. It's not about a number on the scale. And just one tip that I have is I save Facebook posts that I love, that inspire me, and I put them on my phone, and I put the date that that particular person posted, and I put who it was. And then I wait for a while, and I will create them and make them my own. And I know that's a little tip. If something inspires you, save it, put it in your notes, and come back to it and create it, and make it yours. All right, awesome. Let's move on. Question number 3. This is going to be for Whitney and Julie again. So Whitney, we're going to start with you. What are your favorite, and we're going to call them strategies for social media to make sure you have maximum reach, to make sure that curiosity peak, we have a maximum outreach there. Tell us about what you do.
Yeah, so one of my favorite things to do is to go back to Fast Track to Freedom. They have it all laid out, day 1 through 30. I actually created a table where it's all in one place, so you don't have to go hashtag day 1, hashtag day 2. And I map out my social media for 1, 2, 3 times at a month, at 3 months at a time, rather, sometimes, because when you're feeling inspired, that's when your posts show it. Because just because you might have a day where you don't really feel interested in posting, if you've had that inspired post ready already, that kind of helps. And then I'm a really big fan of, I'm not going to get into it because it's the next question, but working the posts on the likes and the comments. And I'm going to not answer that until you ask.
It's coming. Stay tuned. So if you're asking what is Fast Track to Freedom, Fast Track to Freedom is a Facebook group, and they give you a 30-day plan that you just go do the things, and it helps build curiosity around your social media. Some things are about your health journey, and some things are just about your personal life. The more people can connect to you, the more that they will relate to you and be interested in what we're doing. All right, Julie, your turn. What is your favorite strategy for social media?
So I'm a big fan of Fast Track. And then I recently, I actually paid for Cracking the Social Code, just to see what that one was like. And I love that even more. But one of the things that they talk about is bumping your posts. And I had no idea how much gold is in bumping your posts. And if you've never heard of it, what it means is, instead of doing a story, your own story, or posting in the, in the dressing room, instead of liking or loving and commenting on all 30 comments back, you will do it gradually. So you would only comment on maybe 2 or 3 of the comments. You'd reply back and say, thank you so much. I'm loving how I feel. And you can do that for maybe 2 or 3, and then wait another day and do 2 or 3 more. And then a few days later, do 2 or 3 more. And I had no idea how much that keeps your exposure and keeps your post at the top of the news feed for people and all. So I did that recently, and I was blown away how many responses I got. So I would definitely encourage bumping your posts and research that if y'all have never done that.
Yeah, that's so good. Another trick of the trade is to go back to your memories, and whoever liked your post way back then, last year or 2 years ago, whatever, if you just simply go back and comment on one of those things, all of a sudden, all those people 2 years ago will re-see what you posted, and then new people will see. So it's another way to respond to the likes and the questions. So Whitney, in that same line, will you tell us a little bit more about how you respond to the likes and the questions on a post that are getting some curiosity? What are your tricks there?
Yeah. So, am I still? Oh, good. I'm not on mute anymore. Sorry. One of the things that I love to do is, like Julie was talking about, bumping the posts. I go, as soon as something is liked, or I'm sorry, as soon as something is commented, I like every single comment. And then, like she said, only respond to 1 or 2. I really like the ones that maybe aren't generating as much interest. I'll only comment on 1 that day, and then comment on 1 the next day. You have, like, my son's birthday was August 4th. I still have people commenting happy birthday because it keeps bumping. And so I'm responding to like 5 and 6 of those at a time, right? Because there are so many. But really lengthening that with bumping of the posts is a good one. And I've even gone back to, say a before and after that I notice the same people are liking the before and afters. I'll send them a private message and just say, hey, thanks so much for liking my posts. It really helps the algorithm. It helps keep my stuff being seen. I really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Have a great day. And it kind of feels awkward at first, but then it gets less awkward. and you opened a line of communication, and they're going to start seeing more of your posts because of the way the algorithm works.
That's
And I love the memory thing. Big fan of that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thanking the likes. So when we go do that, we're still building curiosity. So what we're doing here is we're just working the algorithm so that we're seen more. And the more that we're seen, the more people are curious about what we're doing, and the more then they're going to start noticing, oh, I can relate to her. Another thing that I do is I move all of my curiosity to Messenger. Hey, I'd love to chat with you. Are you asking, kind of like what we mentioned earlier, are you asking for yourself or for someone else? So let's talk about it. Do you have time for a phone call? Well, no, just tell me what it's called. And I'm like, well, I can tell you that. I'm happy to, but also we're trying to figure out what program is right for you. And it depends on your needs. So you're showing that it's an individual program. It's not just a one size fits all. So just a couple of tricks there for building curiosity and moving it toward the health assessment. All right, let's go to our next question. Sarah, this is for you first. Here's the question. What is your verbiage to getting somebody who's curious to a health assessment? And also, Sarah, I love this, and I would like you to post it in the comments when we're done or right now or whatever you're comfortable with. So Sarah, if you'll come off mute and tell us what's your verbiage to move from curiosity to health assessment.
Yeah. So anytime that I have somebody that wants to know more, I have this response that I pretty much send to everybody. And I have found that it has cut down on a lot of the back and forth. Lots of, at first I was getting a lot of questions, and I felt like, it made me feel awkward. I didn't know exactly what to say. And so I kind of came up with this, and it has helped so much. So I'll just read it to you, and then will post it in the, and some of you may have seen it because I've shared it with some people before, but, so it's, hey, I'm happy to share some info with you. This is a 4-component program based on coaching, low glycemic nutrition, if weight loss is the goal, community support, and changing your mindset around fueling your body. It's made to be convenient with very minimal food prep and proven results, no stimulants or pills. It's really best to talk over the phone. That way I can hear your health goals, your current habits, and see which plan we have would be the best fit, as they're individualized based on your needs. And that takes around 30 minutes. Some are for weight loss, while others are more focused on dialing in nutrition or based on other medical conditions. We can schedule a time to connect to go over the details and see if it's something you're interested in. If you want, are mornings, afternoons, or evenings best? 9 times out of 10, I get evenings, or sure, yeah, let's do it, and it has just cut down. I don't get but hardly anyone ever asks me, well, what is the program? I don't even get that much anymore because I've already given them so much information, but I haven't given them all the information. I've given them just enough so that they feel comfortable to come to, a call.
Yeah. And Sarah, in the comments, do you also send a jot form before the health assessment?
Yes. So once we have a time set, once they tell me a time and I get a time from them, that's when I say, if you could please fill out this quick wellness survey, that will be very helpful. And I send that, and that's it.
Yeah. And if you aren't using a jot form, it does cut down on your health assessment a little bit. It shows you really what to focus on. So that's good. That would be a good follow-up. So the answer is yes. You can search that in our coaches page under jot form, and you can see exactly the directions. I just printed it out, and if I can do it, anybody can. She is going to post her verbiage there in the comments and also on our page. So isn't that great? Let's see. I was trying to see if there are any more questions. Okay. I think that's all. Thank you, Sarah. That was awesome. I love that. I love how she hit just a summary of our program. Here it is. This is what we do. There's no magic. It's just consistency, and it changes the trajectory of your health. All right, Miss Gina, tell us about your verbiage. So here's the question again. What is your verbiage from getting someone who's curious to a health assessment?
I usually will say, like if they're curious in the comments on a post and I take it to Messenger, I thank them so much, and I would love to learn more about where they are. where they'd like to be and see if we have a program that's right for them. And I loved what Sarah said. Mine's a little bit more condensed. There is some back and forth, but sometimes people are like, yep. And I do the same thing. You know, can you talk Tuesday at 3 or Tuesday at 9 or whatever it is, and take it from there. And that usually gets people, when they realize, you know, you want to hear about them. You want to know more about where they are, what they want. And that's usually what I say.
That's so good. I love that Gina said she says 2 or 9. That's so good. When I was a brand new coach, I'd be like, you just tell me anytime, I'll be there anytime, 12, whatever, it doesn't matter. And so I have found that if you give people just a couple of times, it doesn't matter that you might not have anything from 2 to 4, but if you could say, I can do 2 or I can do 3, that helps them feel like it narrows it down and you're not just wide open, and it just kind of gives some limitations and boundaries. So that's a super tip. Thank you so much, Gina. That was awesome. All right, you guys, we have time for about one more question and everybody gets to answer on the panel. And this is just about engaging and creating curiosity and social media. So social media was really scary to me as a new coach. I didn't know how to do it. I wasn't sure how to develop curiosity. I wasn't even sure about who I was. When I started on program, I was like, is this going to work? Is this another thing I'm not going to be good at? And I'm sure a lot of you felt that way too. So social media felt really scary. So I want the panel to talk to you guys about just one consistent tip to developing the curiosity so that you can start using this verbiage and getting more optics on social media. So let's start this time. Julie, I'll start with you. Tell us about what you learned. Tell us about, and specifically tell people about habit finders, because I've taken that course too, and that might be something interesting for them to learn.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is my biggest encouragement and what I do with every new coach is, and even coaches that have been coaching for a while, is find a strategy for social media, because there is so much behind the scenes that I had no idea existed. And so if you're just throwing up a post here and throwing up a post there, it's great that you're visible, but you may not be maximizing all the tools that are there. So there was like a 5-day social thing in June or July that I did initially, and that like opened my eyes to what's available, and that was offered by Habit Finder. And then I found out about cracking the social code, and it was only a couple $100. I think maybe it's anywhere from $300 to $500. So it's not like a huge investment, but it has been unbelievable how they lay out your days. They tell you when to post and the best times. I've been blown away by how much I didn't know, and I've been using social media for a really long time. So my encouragement is find a strategy and use it, because it will help you tremendously.
Absolutely. And the one thing I would say to that is find somebody who does it well and go talk to them and say, well, tell me about this. Social media, it feels so big and scary. But I agree. I learned a lot through those courses too. And that Habit Finder, that social media course, there was a free one. And so it kind of gave you a taste of how to do all of those things. So thanks, Julie. That's so great. All right, Whitney, your turn. Tell us about how to create curiosity so you can move it to a health assessment.
Yeah, so I, like Julie on the social media course, I love bumping the post. And even if you have, like I've had a lot of times lately where I didn't have a post scheduled and I didn't feel like anything exciting happened, you can bump old posts and you're still showing as active on everybody else's screens that day, which is really, really cool. But one other thing that I want to say is that it's really powerful to make sure you're well-rounded, right? Not, oh, here she goes, posting another before and after. Oh, look, it's another inspirational quote. It's another before and after. Because people want to know that you're real. And let me tell you, people love my dog more than anything else, right? Find a cute puppy dog and post the cute puppy, because you're interacting with them. And no matter what you're interacting about, they're going to see the other stuff too. So I think it's really important so that you don't brand yourself as, oh, look, there's that girl that's posting another before and after, and she's going to ask me to join her in something. So those are my two kind of things.
That's so good. Authenticity. I love that. If you are my Facebook friend, I know you see my dog because she's on there all the time, but people love it. So it's fun. All right, Gina, tell us one social media tip. How do we move into curiosity and move further?
Be consistent and show up in real life. People want to see you in action. And the more that they see you and being authentic, whether you're talking about the program or you are talking about the event you went to on Saturday night and being social and things, people realize that you're relatable, that you're the real deal, and that you have the real deal in your hands for them. And the only way they know is if you consistently show up.
So good. Show up. I love that. Sarah, your turn. Tell us one social media tip that you have to engage an audience.
Okay, so I was going to talk about being authentic and resonating with people, and we've touched on that. So, plan B, I would say coaching your clients through social media. This is really helpful to not only so that your clients are not only getting more support from you than just that once a week check-in as their coach, but your future clients, because everyone is a future client, are getting an idea of what to expect when they're working with you. So I would just say, of course, live out loud, live authentically, and really find ways to resonate. But also don't forget that social media is another pathway to coach your clients and give people an inside peek as to what goes on when they get to work with you.
Wow. Be brave, right, guys? One of the things I do, and then I'm going to turn it right back over to Dee, is I go to all the birthdays each day and I send a private message. Hey, hope you're having a great birthday. What you got planned? I bump my post. I offer the program through a private message to somebody every day. Hey, I just want to let you know I'm a health coach. And if you know of anyone that might be interested in the program, I would appreciate the referral. And usually they go, well, I might. And I'm like, I know, right? Like, I know. And then you start talking to them because you kind of planned, you thought that you had them on your heart, right? And then lastly, I offer coaching through private messages. I'm like, I'm so interested in you. You're so positive and I'd like to know more. Would you like to learn more about what I do? And that was kind of scary at first, but you get used to it. You get used to being out there. Thank you so much, you guys. Would love for you to give a shout out to the panel in the comments. And I am going to turn it over to Dee.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lori, Gina, Sarah, Whitney, Julie, you guys, incredible. I really have nothing to add to that. You guys covered it all, but right. Did you ever know there were so many ins and outs to all of this? But the real bottom line is showing up, being consistent, having a system, and showing up authentically. I think that was one of the biggest shifts for me a couple of years ago, was really moving from motivational Monday, try it Tuesday, to actually putting my voice, even if it's a motivational post, putting my voice behind it. Why am I sharing that particular one today? Right? It's probably speaking to me. It's going to speak to somebody else. So right now I just popped the link to the poll for our future team time. So if you haven't filled it out yet, just do a little copy of that, paste it in your browser right after, and just go fill it out. It's like 6 questions, and you can put anything you want in the comments, because we are here for you. And so next week, when you come, what the topic is, I'll be leading it, is overcoming excuses to achieve your dreams. And excuses show up in all different ways, disguised as fear, procrastination, distraction, all sorts of stuff. So we're going to talk about that. How do you stay focused and live your life and stay focused on your dreams? So you don't want to miss it. And then again, community call this week on Tuesday. Lauren's leading the social media discussion. You keep it going on Thursday. So it's going to be good stuff. Congrats, you guys, for investing in yourself. It's going to be fun to see your post over the next few weeks, is what you've learned from tonight. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.